Shalom, Israel. He said give a name. I usually don't give a name, but we're going to give a name today. Today, the name is We Fear No One. And the reason I'm saying that is because as I spoke last night, how many of y'all listened last night? Y'all watch the replays that's going on? The replays is crazy. Okay, a lot of people are watching our stuff and posting it and passing around, and it's all good. It's spreading. So we have to be careful what we say and mindful how we display ourselves before the public, because the public is looking up to us, and we always want to be honorable before the Lord. So I just went into the scriptures and found some history of our forefathers when they were in time of distress, and look at the way the people were exhorted. Let's open up with 1 Chronicles chapter 16, verse 7. This is after King David recovered the Ark of the Covenant. And you got to look at the way our forefathers speak and think, do we speak that way? Do we exhort our brethren this way? Do we conduct ourselves in this manner? Because we taught to be like men from the street, and we think that that's tough and that's good. But these are good examples of being honorable.
The book of 1 Chronicles chapter 16, verse 7. Then on that day, David delivered first this psalm to thank the Lord into the hand of Asaph.
Who he gave it to?
The hand of Asaph.
Read on.
And his brethren.
I expect that one. Go ahead.
Give thanks unto the Lord.
So this is what he was telling Asaph to go and tell the other people and put it in a song. He said what?
Give thanks unto the Lord.
Give thanks unto the Lord. Because a lot of times, yesterday we read about the benefits of God that we take for granted. The benefit that we wake up, we breathe, we eat, we sleep, blood flows through our veins, we could hug our loved ones, we could come together, we take life for granted. So he started off saying what?
Give thanks unto the Lord.
Read on.
Call upon his name. Make known his deeds among the people.
Make known his deeds among the people, because these Negroes in the street, these heathen nations, they don't understand the deeds of God. They have some fairy tale image of what God is in their head. They picturing a white man sitting butt naked on a cloud based on these white images that Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci painted in the cathedrals. They picture all the angels butt naked. They picture little babies with wings. That's not what's going on in this Bible. What does this Bible say?
Make known that his deeds among the people.
Us as Israelites, we must make known the deeds of this people. And for the first time in history, the Most High has put us at the forefront to do that. So when we go into this Bible, as we learn the laws and as we return back to him in righteousness, we got to show people about the God that we serve and make it clear to them, because they don't understand it. As I played yesterday, I played one of them fools disrespecting our Bible and disrespecting our God, that they speak of, that they're in a conscious community. They took the disrespect to a higher level. Stuff that I can't even play because it's just so many curse words and disrespecting it. They have no respect for the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the nation of Israel. And it's our job to manifest him before the people and make it known. Read on.
Sing unto him. Sing psalms unto him. Talk ye of all his wondrous works.
Talk of all his wondrous works. From the parting of the Red Sea to the flood to the famine that he did. Okay, when the bishop, as I said before, the bishop went down and broke down how he destroyed the Egyptians for our sakes in great detail. And there was ignorant Negroes mad about that. When he sent Moses to go to that Pharaoh and explain to him, you're going to let my people go. And toyed with them. We got to bring that stuff out. Because the world thinks of it as a fairy tale. They don't believe it. They don't believe that there's a God that's going to deliver us in this day and age. There's people laughing when we speak about chariots are going to come from the sky and take us up off this earth. And some of you, if you listen to them long enough, you're going to start to doubt like they doubting. Some of you are going to get weak. Read it again.
Sing unto him, sing psalms unto him. Talk ye of all his wondrous works.
Talk of all his wondrous works when we speak. And make the God in this Bible, bring it to life. That's what I loved about when I came around the bishop and I became a part of IUIC. This Bible came to life. Read on.
Glory ye in his holy name.
Glory ye in his holy name, because we've been taught lies. And people are arguing about how to address him and how to deal with him and what character to walk in. And we got to glory in the name that he put on us and the understanding that he's given us as a people. No more will we looked upon as black people or Negroes or Africans. We are the Israelites, the chosen of the Lord. Read on.
Let the heart of them rejoice that seek the Lord.
We got to teach our people how in their heart to rejoice while they're seeking the Lord. Because we're broken, we're battered, we're a product of slavery, we're a product of single parent households, we're a product of drug addiction, we're a product of alcoholism, we're a product of depression, we're a product of psychological disorders. 2 people in this month, since last month and this month began, just got shot because they have psychiatric problems. Y'all heard about that? They blew the old lady away before. Then a man, none of them have criminal history. The police come to them for a domestic call. Okay, they're up in age, and the only resort for the police officer to do is kill them. Okay, and that's how our life has been devalued to nothing. Where you see them that they're not in their right mind, blow them away. And they could be healed with this Bible. They could be healed with this word if you got the right people around them telling them the right things. Read on. Go ahead.
That, again, believe it or not, is a result of imagery. When you're viewed as something that you could just easily blow away without, like, I'll give an example. Like when we had the videos of the Edomite that was out there in the park. Then he had a rifle, right? And he was aiming it towards people. And they took their time and made sure they calm him down and all kind of other things before they use lethal force on him. Do you want to know why? Because the image of him, you be killing something. But when it comes to us, you follow what I'm saying? You're just getting rid of another end. That's how they put it. Y'all understand my point? Well, that's how the nations view us. But guess what? We internalize that same viewpoint towards each other. Y'all understand? We will mistreat each other before we mistreat those of the other nations because we've bought into that imagery. Y'all follow what I'm saying? We've bought into that. That's the reason why I was saying earlier, we as men have to fix this problem on how we see ourselves, and it begins with the keeping of the commandments. Deacon.
Continue reading.
Seek the Lord and his strength. Seek his face continually.
That's how we get to better ourselves. When we seek the Lord and his strength. You got, every time you turn on the TV, there's some charlatan, some huckster, some liar with a backdrop of a Lamborghini, naked woman. You want to live like me? Buy my CD, buy my disc, buy my book. You too can live like me. How come there ain't a lot of black people living like that? There's a lot of black people buying into that junk, but why is there not a lot of people living like that? You got some Chinese funny-looking man with naked women in bikinis behind him, telling her, you poor, the reason you poor is because you don't listen to me. I'm not making this up. There's an infomercial like that. There's the other guy that he takes his video camera, he shows his bookcase. Then he switches to his Lamborghini. How many of y'all saw that one? Okay? And all that stuff is to belittle you because he's not giving you information that could change your life. He's playing on the fact that you're weak and you don't understand how to move and you don't have no vision. You don't have no direction. And you're seeing him with something that he probably doesn't even own. And he's convincing you he could do it for you. And I'm telling y'all today it's a lie. Because you know how much money he made selling that stuff? We should see a lot of people in the hood that way. You don't think there was no suckers in the hood that bought into that stuff? Okay, so our people are gullible and they're easy to be manipulated and taken advantage of. And that's why we have a Bible and that's why we have a God to reposition the way we think. Read that again.
Seek the Lord and his strength. Seek his face continually.
You have to continually do this. You have to. People keep asking when they come new, how long it's going to take before I can learn the scriptures like you guys or break the scriptures down like you. I'm not giving you no time because the Bible says what?
Seek the Lord and his strength. Seek his face continually.
This is a continual process. Every year you should be getting better while you're doing this. There's no date of time that you came to this amount of Sabbath class. You should be excellent in breaking down the precepts. You memorize a lot of stuff. You wrote a lot of stuff. But did your character change? Have you had a continual process of growth while you were hearing this truth? Because it says, read it one more time.
Seek the Lord and his strength.
You seek his strength. Read on.
Seek his face continually.
And you have to do it continually. That's how you change. That's how you grow. That's how you become stronger. That's how you talk different, walk different, think different. Okay? Because you're now being guided by his strength. Hold up for a second. Don't let that go. Give me Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 5. This is the problem with our people.
Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 5. Thus saith the Lord, cursed be the man that trusteth in man.
Most of the people who speak to me for the first time, this is what I tell them. You don't trust no man. You're not here for no man. Man will fail you and let you down and hurt you, rob you, cause problems in your life, upset you, make you want to kill him. They trying to kill you. It says what? Read it again.
Cursed be the man that trusteth in man.
So the Bible tells you, do not trust in man. We speak in the words of the Most High. We're not speaking our own words. I learned how to speak to you like this because of me being in the scriptures and getting the strength of the Lord and speaking continually like this. Read it again.
Cursed be the man that trusteth in man and maketh flesh his arm.
We don't care about the fleshly arms of man that lie to us and promise us things and don't deliver. That always have an agenda. That's always, you don't know what's going on in their head. One day they're your friend, the next day they're your enemy. You're arguing and you're talking about, I don't know what happened. How many of y'all go through that? Y'all not speaking to somebody like, I don't know what happened. We was cool and I don't know what happened. Read on.
And whose heart departeth from the Lord.
Man's heart have departed from the Lord. That's why it tells you in Genesis chapter 6, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for he is flesh. From the creation of the first man, God was trying to put his thoughts and his spirit into us, but because we have the freedom of free will, we choose to go against him. So the Bible says what? What does it say about man's heart?
And whose heart departed from the Lord.
All the men that are around you, I don't care who it is in your family, if they're not identifying themselves as an Israelite and keeping these commandments, their heart have departed from God, and they dangerous. They are dangerous. They cannot be trusted. You're around anybody, I don't care what they have. If they're not speaking out this Bible and being a role model of Christ and having that compassion and having that morality and having that love and ready to lay it on his life, there will be a problem to you at one point in your life. Read on.
For he shall be like...
You skip something. Read it again, 17 verse 5.
Thus saith the Lord, cursed be the man that trusteth in man, and maketh flesh his arm.
So we don't trust in the fleshly arms of man. We trust in the spiritual arm of God. The power that's making us wake up every day, go to sleep, giving us oxygen, giving us food. Okay? There's a spiritual arm that you cannot see that's guiding every single human being on the face of this planet. And y'all need to respect that. Read on.
And whose heart departeth from the Lord.
Because our heart has departed from the Lord. Read on.
Verse 6. For he shall be like the heath in the desert, and shall not see when good cometh.
Okay? That's to protect you. Okay? A man that has no Spirit of God cannot protect you from the heat in the desert, cannot protect you from danger when it comes, because his heart has departed from the Lord. Let's go back to where we was in First Chronicles.
1 Chronicles 16, verse 11. Seek the Lord and his strength. Seek his face continually.
So we have to continually seek the Lord's face for us to get strength. Because a lot of y'all come in here broken. Y'all come in here battered. That's why a lot of people church hop. They go into whatever church that sounds good, that has something that can lift their spirits up and make them feel better, that they could get some hope. And 99.9% of them churches are lies. They have nothing for you there. Read on.
Remember his marvelous works that he hath done, his wonders, and the judgments of his mouth.
You got to look at the judgments of his mouth and the wonderful things that he did for you to first connect with him. Because some of you disagree with his judgments. Some of you don't stand by his judgments. Some of you question his judgments. And that's why you run into problems in your life. That's been the history of the Israelites from they were created. From Adam and Eve, questioning his judgments, questioning his direction, and not trusting in his strength, and going for an outside resource. Read on.
O ye seed of Israel, his servant, ye children of Jacob, his chosen ones. He is the Lord our God. His judgments are in all the earth.
That's a beautiful thing. He says he's the Lord our God. The heathen are trying to stop us now because we're saying this is our God. He don't belong to nobody else. And this is how we make it known. That's why he started at the beginning and said, make his judgments known. Make his glory known. Trust in his strength. He's our God. He belongs to us. And for a long time, we've been walking without no God. We've been walking without no protection. We've been walking lost and blind and battered and broken. And now this Bible is giving us hope and giving us strength. Read on.
Be ye mindful always of his covenant.
Be ye mindful always of his covenant. Because some of y'all come in here, y'all learn you Israel, you get a Hebrew name, you put some fringes on, and you go right back to being that wicked man you was. You start slipping right back into wickedness. Because why? Read it again.
Be ye mindful always of his covenant.
Why you got to keep your mind on his covenant all the time? Because the world is trying to take you someplace different every single day. That's why I hate those people that want to question when we want to keep a high holy day, when we want to do the Sabbath, when we want to do Hanukkah, when we want to do the Feast of Tabernacles. And now we got to explain to everybody else while we keeping our mind on what the Most High wants. And nobody don't have to explain Christmas, Halloween, Thanksgiving. I was mad where I live because my daughter would pass by and see the skeleton and the witch stuff on the wall, and she would say, Daddy, that's bad. So I'm like, good, Halloween's over, decorations come down. I come back, now there's a nigga with a hat and a musket and pumpkins and stuff and turkey for Thanksgiving. They wasted no time. No time with the Thanksgiving decorations. When did Halloween end? They just slapped up new decorations right there because they want you to keep your mind on that wicked spirit, the wicked covenants that America has devised. And it's a white man with a musket, with the pointy hat and the boots. And now you have to explain to your kid why that stuff is there. There's no images of what our God stands for, who we are. Read on.
The word which he commanded to 1,000 generations.
But all our generations was commanded to be the way that y'all just learning right now. Our fathers didn't have it. Our grandfathers didn't have it. Some of you, when y'all hear this, make me mad when you start saying, yeah, my grandfather used to talk about that. No, he wasn't. Because if your grandfather was talking about what we telling you, you will be talking about it now. They always say, my grandfather used to tell me this. Okay? If they did really tell you this to the capacity that we're telling you it, you'll be talking about it now. You wouldn't be coming to us to learn it. The Most High had it set up that this understanding will manifest at an appointed time, and it's the end of the world. Read on.
Even of the covenant which he made with Abraham and of his oath unto Isaac, and hath confirmed the same to Jacob for a law, and to Israel for an everlasting covenant.
So he said that he told us to thousands of generations back from our forefathers, and this is the everlasting covenant. Read on.
Saying unto thee, will I give thee the land of Canaan, the lot of your inheritance, when you were but few, even a few.
Even when we were small in number and we look weak like the way we are right now. We look like weak people with purple on. Nobody respects us. We were just a small number when we was first in his house. That's the way that they looked at us. That's the way that they looked at them back then. And he made a deal with them back then that they was going to be great. And he honored that. Same way he going to honor it now. You had that man, James White, laugh, say, I don't respect them because of the way they are. Okay, you watch. He going to lose sleep because of the way we are. When he see us rise up the way that we supposed to.
Not only is he going to lose sleep, but he's going to be woken up and put back in the field to work. So he ain't going to get much sleep. He ain't going to get much sleep, period.
Read on.
When you were but few, even a few, and strangers in it.
He said when we were a few, even but few, and strangers, he made a deal with us that we was going to be great. And it's the same thing with us right now. It started off with a very few. And he's magnifying us right before the eyes of the world. And y'all got to be able to see that. Y'all got to be look around you and say every day, yo, look, this thing is growing. Not listen to what everybody else is saying in the world. Don't be influenced by them. You got to shut them out and pay attention to what the Lord is telling you. He started this thing out with a few good men. Read on.
And when they went from nation to nation and from one kingdom to another people, he suffered no man to do them wrong.
And y'all got to get that through your head. Even when we went from nation to nation to nation in slavery, he did what?
He suffered no man to do them wrong.
He always watched over us and preserved the remnant of us so that nobody could totally wipe us out. That's a powerful and great God. And y'all got to remember that. Because now it looks like we're under attack. Everybody's getting scared. Everybody's worried because what happened with that Israelite camp. Okay? And I ain't scared. And I'm telling y'all, don't be afraid. Most High don't like that. Okay? He'll allow things to happen just to test your spirit, just to see what you made of, just to see if you're about that life. Read it again.
He suffered no man to do them wrong.
He controls whether we get harmed or not. Read on.
Yea, he reproved kings for their sake.
And he will rip a king apart that stepped to us the wrong way. Like I was telling the deacon when we were speaking, we was talking about if the situation, everybody, it's all over YouTube, how FBI ran in there and took their stuff. Other people are getting them and disrespecting them and telling them God is judging them. If they come up in here, we're going to pour them something to drink and tell them sit down. Handle your business and get out. You ain't walking out here with nothing because we ain't doing nothing wrong. And we know that the Lord is going to make sure that nobody going to come and do something to us when we handling this business the right way. And not a lot of people can speak that way. Read it again.
He suffered no man to do them wrong. Yea, he reproved kings for their sakes.
And y'all got to think about the God that did that. In the same breath that he said, I'm going to let them take you and enslave you, I'm still going to check them if they go overboard with you. There's a limit that they can go with you. And y'all got to understand that right here. Because some of y'all are getting scared in this walk. Read on.
Yea, he reproved kings for their sakes, saying, touch not mine anointed.
The Most High has an anointed that you cannot just touch or play with or handle anyway. And that's how you got to walk and talk and speak and think even when you're in your house. Even when you're with the wicked in your house. If you're doing the right thing, that's the way you conduct yourself around the people. You don't beg the people to be easy with you. You warn the people, don't play with me because my God is watching. That's for you people that's going with troubles in your home, in your job, or wherever it is. We are the anointed of the Lord, and the Most High got his eyes on everything. Read on.
Saying, touch not mine anointed, and do my prophets no harm.
We are the prophets of the Most High. And if we're doing the wrong thing, he's going to jack us up. If we're doing the right thing, he's going to preserve us so that this word could go out, because this is according to his will. Okay, there's people calling, oh, they went there. What if they come here? Let them come. We're not worried about that. We're not sitting here worried about if they come here. They just wasted gas and toll money to come here. Read on.
And do my prophets no harm. Sing unto the Lord, all the earth. Show forth from day to day his salvation.
So we got to make sure that we show this earth that we have a God that's going to show forth salvation for us. And we ain't afraid of them. What verse was that?
That was verse 23.
Keep going.
Declare his glory among the heathen, his marvelous works among all nations.
Because the heathen is trying to tell you something different. And we are the ones that's put in place to declare his glory among them. And let the other nations know. We ain't niggas, we ain't spicks, we ain't monkeys, we ain't Africans. We the Israelites. And we got our fringes and our beards and our garments. And we going to rock this purple and make y'all hate on it. Read on.
For great is the Lord, and greatly to be praised. He also is to be feared above all gods.
That's who we fear. We fear him. He's great and greatly. We don't praise him enough. And he's to be feared above everybody else. The gods of all these nations, all these principalities and these powers. Some of y'all know more about Satan than you know about God. Some of y'all into witchcraft. Y'all know Kabbalahism. Y'all know hand gestures and hand signs. Y'all know what symbolism is. Y'all talking about the Illuminati and you don't know a damn thing about the Most High. And you don't give him no praise. You give more honor to the devil. People calling and telling us they're going to do this, they're going to do that. And I got to tell them, look, don't waste my time. I don't care what they're doing. Let them do it. Let it pop off. Read on.
For all the gods of the people are idols.
That's how I look at everything else that's going on in this world. They're all idols. They all have idols in their hearts. This election is idolatry. Okay, I just watched. I had to crack up yesterday when they sentenced. Y'all was watching the Bridgegate scandal in Jersey. Y'all saw how they brought judgment on that woman. She was trying to help out the governor. She did what he told her to do. He told her shut down the bridge and create gridlock because this guy won't support me in the election. Laughing about it. Now she's in tears crying on TV. They talking about giving her 20 years and her partner 20 years. And everybody's saying she just did her job. She was just doing her job. And that's how the idols of this world work. They will use you. They will take advantage of you and then walk. Now she's on TV. They talking about she got 4 kids. And some of y'all idolize this world and go in conjunction with the things that they're doing. And all it's going to do is use you up like that Edomite woman got used up. I ain't never seen nothing like that on TV before. For those of you who's not paying attention to, go and check it out. Big press conference. They interrupt everything because people are in shock that little Lily is going to jail. Read on.
For all the gods of the people are idols, but the Lord made the heavens. Glory and honor are in his presence. Strength and gladness are in his place.
We get our strength and our gladness and our glory in his presence because he made everything. And we keep forgetting that. Read on.
Give unto the Lord, ye kindreds of the people. Give unto the Lord glory and strength.
Read on.
Give unto the Lord the glory due unto his name. Bring an offering and come before him. Worship the Lord in the beauty of holiness.
And the way we give our offering now is it says to make our bodies a living sacrifice to him. So it shouldn't be a problem for you to grow your beard, for you to put fringes on, for you to keep the Sabbath, for you to show love to your brother, for you to love your wife in your house. Because that's the image that he wants us to set for the world. That they're not niggas and monkeys and spicks and Africans. This is a loving, kind, gentle people that they're going to listen to me what I say and I'm going to make them great. How can we give him that honor that they're talking about giving him there when you people want to go against him and do your own thing? That don't make no sense. And King David was saying this after the Most High delivered him. And he had respect unto him. And these are the things that we got to look at, because a lot of you want changes to be implemented in your life, and you ain't doing nothing that we just read right there. Keep going. Go ahead.
That verse 29, that's heavy. Read that 29 again.
Give unto the Lord the glory due unto his name.
Give unto the Lord the glory due unto his name. What does that translate into? The Most High gave us commandments, right? He gave us, can I just get one scripture, Deacon? I'm going to take it right back here. Go to Deuteronomy chapter, 4 and 6, I think it is.
Deuteronomy 4 and 6. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people.
Read it again. I just had to get it.
Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom.
Meaning these are the commandments. Read verse 5.
Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments.
Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments. This is what the Most High gave us. Go ahead.
Even as the Lord my God commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it.
So the Most High meant for us to keep these commandments everywhere we go. Go ahead, read.
Keep therefore and do them.
And do these commandments. Keep these commandments and these laws and do them. Go ahead.
For this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations.
In the sight of the nations, we're supposed to execute our what? Wisdom and our understanding. So when you go back over, read that back over there again where the deacon is at.
1 Chronicles 16, verse 29. Give unto the Lord the glory due unto his name.
You know how we give unto the Lord the glory that is due unto his name? By being proud of being the ones who God gave his commandments to. We're supposed to be elevating these commandments, our dress, everything about being Israel. We're supposed to be putting that on Front Street.
That's right.
We ain't supposed to be ashamed of none of this. The hell with you. We're supposed to put this out on Front Street for the whole planet, everybody to see it.
That's right.
That's what the Most High is saying. Go back over there to Deuteronomy. Then finish that up and give it back to the deacon.
Which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people.
This is the imagery that we want. This is the image that we're supposed to have among ourselves and each other. And when we have this kind of image among ourselves, this is how we give honor and praise to the Most High. That's what we're reading over here in Chronicles. Y'all understand that? Okay, give it back to the deacon. Go ahead.
And that's heavy because a lot of times people, after coming here, they'll see everybody doing stuff and they'll be like, Deacon, what should I do? Do you need me to help? Do you need me to do anything? And they don't understand that what we told them to do when they came through the door is what we need them to do. Some of you just got to play your position and keep the commandments and make it clear to the rest of the world that there's a bunch of people doing that. That's where we need all hands on deck. There's not a bad report about your house and how you conduct yourself. And give that imagery that the deacon was speaking about. Continue reading where you was.
Give unto the Lord the glory due unto his name.
How does he get his glory? Do us doing what he requires of us, what he asks us to do. Us not selling drugs, not killing each other, not shooting each other, not fighting, not World Star. Oh, go there. Look at the hits that's on there. And it's all evil. There's no World Star video for good. Read on.
Bring an offering and come before him. Worship the Lord in the beauty of holiness. Fear before him all the earth. The world also shall be stable, that it be not moved.
The only way the world will be stable, there will be no more war, no more violence, is when everybody learns to fear the Lord. That's why it says when Christ comes, every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess. And that's how the world will be stable. That's why the world is in turmoil right now. Everybody's doing anything they want to do. And you cannot have a society where you can thrive and grow and live and have longevity and have a better way of life where everybody doing anything they want to do. Read on.
Verse 31. Let the heavens be glad, and let the earth rejoice, and let men say among the nations, the Lord reigneth.
That's what we need to show these people. And the only way we can show the people that the Lord reigneth is once we get our act together. We cannot talk and praise and glory in our Lord when our houses are in disarray. Our marriages are in disarray. Brothers are arguing. Brothers are still committing adultery. Okay? Brothers are still defiling the Sabbath. Brothers don't have no beard. The earth will not be stable until we stabilize it. That's what the Lord is calling us to do. And y'all got to wrap your mind around that. That's why the Bible keeps speaking about mine elect, mine elect, mine elect. God has an elect group of people that's going to stabilize this whole planet. And that's how y'all got to go to sleep and how y'all got to wake up. Some of y'all are asking, well, what can I do to keep the commandments more? Focus on these things I'm telling you now. God is bringing a group of people to stabilize this earth. And you haven't, you're in there. You're a part of that. So act like it. You're supposed to feel uncomfortable the way you were acting before. Don't do it for no man. Don't do it for Shem. Don't do it for Deacon Yawasop. Don't do it for me. Do it because you want to be a part of the greatest movement known to mankind. Nobody should be pushed here or dragged here or be checked upon. Where you was last Sabbath, we didn't see you. To hell with the way you was. Don't come back. We don't have to, why should we be monitoring you for the greatest movement known to mankind? You don't believe, that's why. We done.
Let the sea roar and the fullness thereof. Let the fields rejoice in all that is therein.
He's saying the elements of the earth are supposed to move at rejoicing for the Lord, and that's what God wants with us. We done. What verse is that?
That was verse 32.
Keep going.
Then shall the trees of the wood sing out at the presence of the Lord.
Where else do you read that? Where do you read about the trees singing at the presence of the Lord? Go ahead, you have one up first. Where?
Book of Isaiah.
Get it? Trees singing. The trees are upset. The trees are upset because there's Negroes walking this earth who are ungodly. And once these Negroes get their act together, y'all gonna hear music coming from the trees.
y'all looking strange. They said, what in the world?
That one over their head.
Hey,
They don't believe that, y'all.
I got to read the scripture for them. Romans. Get the book of Romans. Got to read it for them. They're looking crazy. They're looking strange. Romans about the waiteth. 1 and something. 1 and huh? Listen to this here. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Okay, let her read that.
It is for Romans 8, verse 19. For the earnest expectation of the creature waiteth for the manifestation of the sons of God.
That's
Ooh.
us. That's
Ooh.
us. The world is waiting for us to manifest. For you women to manifest and come to play your role, play your position.
The butter's cold. It didn't
melt.
The biscuits ain't hot. Read it again.
Romans, the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 19. For the earnest expectation of the creature waiteth for the manifestation.
What does it mean by the earnest expectation of the creature? What is that talking about? The earnest expectation. The earnest expectation of the creature. Expectation is what? Huh? What is expectation? You're waiting for it. You're expecting it. But it says earnest expectation. They're begging. Hurry up, please.
Begging for us to come to the order that we're supposed to come in.
Does what? Read it again.
For the earnest expectation of the creature waiteth for the manifestation of the sons
Waiting
of
for the Negro to wake up.
That's
They're
right.
waiting for the Negro to wake up. That's what it's saying.
That's
Will
right.
you wake up and please put this earth back in order, like it says in Psalms? It says, for all of the foundations of the earth is out of course.
Out of course.
The
Because
earth
of you.
the earth is saying, will you please get your act together
Yes.
so we can get these demons off of us so we can breathe
Yes.
again?
Yes, the earth is crying out for change. That will only come when you change. Read the one you was going to get. Let's prove to them that the trees going to talk and sing. Y'all don't see it in movies like Lord of the Rings. They're spiritual while they do that. You see a lot of these movies, these gothic movies where Esau is showing about the connection to the trees, to the earth. You see that in Avatar. Okay, and that goes over your head because you're still thinking like a low subhuman species of smoking weed and your pants hanging off your body. Yo, what up, what up, what up?
Right.
What up? You ain't see that in Avatar.
Right. Satan knows what he's doing. He, like I told you many times before, these white people that put these movies out, they don't give a
know.
damn about your entertainment. They ain't put nothing out here to entertain you. They'd rather kill us. This ain't got nothing to do with entertaining you. Oh, want you to have a good time in the movie theater. They don't give a damn about that. They putting that stuff up there because they know something.
That's right.
And they want to see who's hip to it.
That's right.
And if too many of you are too awake, they're gonna put certain other things in the movies to put you back to sleep. That's how they test. That's how they test the people's intelligence. Put it in the movie. Put it in the music. Put it in that. How many people react to it? Too many of them waking up, start
That's right.
dumbing them down again.
Okay.
That's how that works.
Remember in Avatar, when the people died, what they did with them? They put them in the earth. They wrap them, they put them in the earth. You saw the earth come up and grab them? Where does it say that in the scriptures? From the earth, from you were formed, and from the dust you shall return. Y'all saw that in the movie, and it went over your head. The bodies of the human beings was in connection. When the animals needed to come and move with them to attack the enemy, they were able to communicate with wild beasts. Who was able to do that in the beginning of the Bible? Okay. You Negroes have fallen to an all-time low. You don't understand the power that you're missing. Once you come together as one and be unified, that's what they were showing you in that movie.
Hey, Negro ain't just talking about the so-called black. Negro, again, I can always say that's a condition that have affected all 12 tribes. That's a laboratory experiment. There ain't no such thing as a Negro. That thing was created in a test tube and jumped off the table and ran wild in America with his pants hanging off his behind. That's what that thing is.
Did not the scripture say we were taller in stature? Did they not show the avatars tall? Okay. The way the oxygen was with them, the regular people couldn't interact with the environment like that. There's scriptures that explain to you that at nighttime it's going to look like day. When the ships made it into the atmosphere, everything just looked foreign to them. That's what's going to happen when this earth is reformed the way it's supposed to be. You people love garbage, and I can't wrap my mind around it. I cannot wrap my mind around it. How y'all can wake up every day to this filth and like it? Read your scripture you got.
Okay, Isaiah chapter 14, verse 7. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth.
Read the verse before that. I'm sorry.
Okay.
You said 7. Read verse 6.
Okay. Verse 6. He who smote the people in the wrath with a continual stroke.
Because the enemy has been smiting us in wrath with a continual stroke, shooting us down, beating us down, raising the price of everything, making it hard to live. Okay? Making it so we get minimum wage. It's a continual beating that we get every day, and y'all are not living, you're surviving, and you're comfortable with surviving. I want to live. Like I told somebody, I don't know who I was speaking to yesterday, they were telling me about their new job, and I was like, I don't want to work. I don't want to hear about your job. I'm tired of working. I don't want to work. I'm not looking forward to a new job. I'm sick of this place. Go in there and you have to smile for people who hate your damn guts. Read that verse again.
Okay. Verse 6. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. He that ruleth the nation in anger is persecuted and none hindereth. The whole earth is at rest.
When he goes down, the whole earth will be at rest. When judgment comes to this earth and the leaders are removed, the earth will be at rest. Read on.
and is quiet.
And things will be quiet. I don't want to hear traffic. I don't want to hear horns honking. I don't want to hear no more sirens. I don't want to hear no more gunshots. I want to hear quiet. You ever saw that cartoon with a bear? He was trying to sleep, and he would wake up and he would start screaming, quiet, quiet. They don't know about that cartoon. They don't know. That's old school. You know that? They don't know about the bear wanted quiet while he slept. Read it again.
The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. Yeah, the fir trees rejoice at thee.
The fir trees are going to be rejoicing. The trees are going to be happy, saying, read on.
And the cedars of Lebanon saying, since thou art laid down, no fella is come up against us.
Okay, a fella is the occupation of chopping down trees and destroying nature. And the earth is being destroyed, and we ain't seeing the benefits of it. With all the destruction that's happening to the earth, life is just getting harder for us. So go back to where you was.
Yes, sir. First Chronicles 16:33. Then shall the trees of the wood sing out at the presence of the Lord, because he cometh to judge the earth.
When the Most High judges the earth, the trees going to be happy. You got white people talking about hug a tree. Y'all see it? And the tree don't belong to them. It's ours. Read on. Where did the people live in Avatar? Inside the trees. They had whole different cultures, worlds up in there that y'all didn't understand what they were trying to portray unto you. I want that thing he was flying, that he would call it, and it would come, and he was flying around. Y'all going to be like Asaph, crazy. You landed that on my house? Yes, I am. Read on.
Oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good, for his mercy endureth forever.
The Lord has been merciful with us for a long time. And if y'all don't learn anything when y'all leave here, y'all better give thanks that you are in here. And you're hearing about him in a way that the rest of the world don't know. People going to go to church tomorrow and get nothing but lies thrown at them and promises that will not be fulfilled. And they're going to empty their pockets doing it. That's not happening to you. Mercy has been showed unto you. What verse was that?
That was 34.
Keep going.
Verse 35. And say ye, save us, O God of our salvation.
That's what we want. Y'all got to start telling the Lord. All of y'all got to start telling him, save us. We sick of this. Because I'm looking at men and I'm looking at women who like things the way that they are. But I have to tell you that someone is mistreating you and things shouldn't be this way. When you're asking me, should you leave from a wicked nigga that's beating you down, and you asking me, should you continue in that? You asking me, what should I do to stop dealing with these lusts? You like things like this. You should be asking the Lord, save me from this. You should be asking for him to deliver you from the way that we live in now, because it's wrong. Let that go. I got some more scriptures I want to go into. But I just love this. When I read this at work, it revived me. Give me Deuteronomy chapter 20, verse 1. And I want you to read it quick, because I'm setting the tone for, I'm telling you, the enemy going to come at us, and we cannot be afraid. The Most High wants us to stand bold and strong before the enemy. And this is how our forefathers were instructed.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 20, verse 1. When thou goest out to battle against thine enemies.
Y'all in camp, y'all battling. Where's Joel at? Joel came here? Is Joel here, Officer Joel? Okay, I noticed we ain't seeing that clown coming up no more. Since he opened up the umbrella that spelled coon on it. He got the message. He wrote coon on the outside of the umbrella. And now you don't see that mouth that he had before. Read it again.
When thou goest out to battle against thine enemies, and seest horses and chariots and a people more than thou.
Y'all gonna see FBI trucks. Y'all gonna see tanks, bomb-sniffing dogs, police cars. One day you may see that. Okay, men in suits who are not making eye contact with you. Men with military gear and fatigue, because there's other people telling you to be afraid of them. Read on.
Be not afraid of them.
The Bible says don't be afraid. And there was no laws back then to govern things on how the people dealt with you. They was coming for blood. They were coming to kill. And these people didn't have the examples that we have now. They didn't have a book to read to encourage them like we have now. And what was told to them? Read it again.
Be not afraid of them.
Read on.
For the Lord thy God is with thee, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt.
So he would always remind us, I delivered you from the hands of the Egyptians, which the Egyptians was the greatest kingdom on the earth. I can deliver you from anything. Okay? Give me Numbers chapter 14, verse 8.
Numbers 14 and 8. If the Lord delight in us,
If God is happy with our behavior,
then he will bring us into this land
he will bring us where we need to go. Read on.
and give it us a land which floweth with milk and honey.
That's the kingdom. That's what we want. Read on.
Only rebel not ye against the Lord,
He said the only stipulation is you cannot rebel against him. Read on.
neither fear ye the people of the land.
Notice he says again, don't be afraid of the people of the land, because fear has been beaten into us. Fear has been embedded into us. Well, we can't even look people in the eye without having to worry about what the consequence. You can't even look another black man in the eye without him looking at you like, nigga, what you looking at? That's a damn shame. Read on.
For they are bread for us.
The other nations are bread for us. And y'all need to get that through your head. Read it again.
For they are bread for us. Their defense is departed from them.
Their defense, God can remove their defense from them. As great as they look to you, God can remove the defense of the other nations from them. Okay? Give me.
And the Lord is with us, fear them not.
And the Lord is with us, so to fear them not. That's how you got to wake up. That's how you got to condition yourself. That's how you got to think. The Most High don't like fear. And I'm not no tough guy. I'm speaking to you like this because this is what I see in his book. And it's my job to communicate it to you. I was never tough. I was stupid because I wasn't afraid of dying. I grew up with a bunch of men that we was like, yo, if we die, we die. That's stupid. The Bible is called a book of life to preserve your life. Only a dumb coon is walking through the street saying, yo, whatever happened, happened, son. No, whatever happened, happened, son. I want to see my family. I want to see my friends. I want to enjoy life, and I want to serve the Lord. That's a stupid coon mentality to have. Watch this. I want to get into these real quick. Give me 2 Chronicles chapter 16, verse 1. This is when there was beef between the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. I want to show you how the Most High operates and how you win battles and how you lose battles and how the Most High deal with you when you don't operate according to the way I'm instructing you now. 2 Chronicles 16, verse 1.
2 Chronicles 16, verse 1. In the 36th year of the reign of Asa,
King Asa was ruling for 36 years. Read on.
Baasha, king of Israel, came up against Judah and built Ramah to the intent that he might let none go out or come into Asa.
So he was
king
trying
of
to
Judah.
cut off passage from people coming in and out. While they were fighting, there was internal battles amongst the nation of Israel. And some of y'all don't know that. And that's why there's still internal battles going on now. Read on.
Then Asa brought out silver and gold out of the treasures of the house of the Lord and of the king's house, and sent to Ben-Hadad, king of Syria.
So Asa went into his treasury and got money and went to the other nations to fight his brother. Because a lot of you, when things go wrong, y'all don't open your Bible for the answers. You do the same thing. Read on.
That dwelt at Damascus, saying, there is a league between me and thee, and there was between my father and thy father.
You and I was always cool, you Syrians. Read on.
Behold, I have sent thee silver and gold.
I'm bringing you some money now.
Go, break thy league with Baasha, king of Israel, that he may depart from me.
I want you to move on. the northern kingdom so that they could make me, so they won't obstruct me from living the way we need to live. Read on.
And Ben-Hadad hearkened unto King Asa and sent the captains of his armies.
So the heathen sent his people after the northern kingdom. Read on.
Against the cities of Israel. And they smote Ijon and Dan and Abel-Mamim and all the store cities of Naphtali.
You know why I found this story? Because as I watched, as the FBI was raiding that other school, I watched Israelites happy that it was happening. That's a sick mindset that you're watching the heathen go and destroy those people there. Okay, let's say he was in sin. As I went over last night, our heart is to hope that the Most High has mercy on him and he learns from it and he recovers. Not rejoice that the heathen is attacking him and destroying him. Because a stain on him, okay, they're a major group. Okay, they've been around for a long time. It's going to be making it harder for us to manifest what we need to do for the people. You're an idiot if you're rejoicing in their downfall. You have a sick mind. And that's how this king thought. He had internal beef and he went to the other nations to give them money to come and help him fight. And that's how black people are. That's why I said, cursed be the man that trusteth in man. The way that I'm telling you how to think is not from no man. I'm telling you how to use your thought process according to your creator. And this is what the creator wanted. Read on.
And it came to pass, when Baasha heard it, that he left off building of Ramah and let his work cease. Then Asa the king took all Judah, and they carried away the stones of Ramah and the timber thereof wherewith Baasha was building, and he built therewith Geba and Mizpah.
So he allowed the heathen to come and destroy his brothers. Read on.
And at that time Hanani, the seer.
So now a prophet comes up and watching the whole thing go on. Hanani comes up and says what?
Came to Asa, king of Judah, and said unto him, because thou hast relied on the king of Syria,
because you went to the heathen, read on,
and not relied on the Lord thy God,
and you didn't go into the scriptures, and you didn't come to me for help when you was in distress, read on.
Therefore is the host of the king of Syria escaped out of thine hand.
I'm going to take away your power. Okay, because he was in control, but he uses finances against his brothers. And that's how black people are. When they get power, when they get money, that's why I don't rejoice in no black people that got money. Ain't no black people with money helping me now. Black people with money are watching us right now and they ain't giving a damn dime. It's you poor people in here now supporting this movement. To hell with the rich black people here until they step their game up and they come and do things so we can fortify ourselves in this truth. Don't glory in no man just because they got money. And they sitting back living lovely while we putting our face and our lives on the front line. Read on.
Were not the Ethiopians and the Lubims a huge host?
So now he's giving them history. Remember when y'all had beef with the Ethiopians and the Lubians? Read on.
With very many chariots and horsemen?
They had a whole army ready to come at you. The prophet is reminding them, y'all had beef before. And how was it handled? Read on.
Yet because thou did rely on the Lord.
Because you came to the Lord and to the prophets and you asked answers from the Most High and you didn't get evil and come with your money to get other people to come and move on them. Read on.
He delivered them into thine hand.
He delivered you from the trouble that you're in. And that's how we got to condition ourselves. Now, one thing I can say, a lot of people have been emailing us and reaching out to us and asking us for support from the Bible. What does the Bible say? How can I fix my marriage? How can I deal with my kids? How can I deal with my wife? How can I deal with my husband, my family members? Y'all not going to no more therapists. Y'all not going to no more spiritual healers or to those wicked lying churches. Y'all coming to the men of the Lord to see how do we fix the problems that we have in our life. Read on.
For the eyes of the Lord run to and fro.
You don't understand. The eyes of God does what?
For the eyes of the Lord run to and fro.
And some of you forget that. That God is always watching you. And that's what he was reminding this idiot. You went and took money and paid the heathen to fight your battle. And you don't understand I'm watching everything. Read on.
For the eyes of the Lord run to and fro throughout the whole earth, to show himself strong in the behalf of them.
God wants the glory. He want to show I'm the head Negro in charge. I run this. You want to empty your treasury to get a heathen to go attack your brother. And all you have to do is step to me. And some of y'all do that every day. Some of y'all do that every day with your finances, with your job, with your family members. You go to idiots and you go to things that can't help you. The people who get effective measures are the ones that come to us and say, what does God say to do? How do I deal with this brother that's giving me a hard time according to the scriptures? How do I deal with my wife according to the scriptures? My husband is mistreating me. What does the Bible say? My kids are wicked. What does the Bible say? That's how you come to the Lord and ask for help. And then he gets his glory. And that's what we got to come back to and stop trying to take things into our own hands. Read on.
For the eyes of the Lord run to and fro throughout the whole earth to show himself strong in the behalf of them.
The Most High want to display his power. He said, my eyes are everywhere, and I want to show myself strong for you. And y'all doing foolishness. It's mind-boggling. It just don't make no sense to me no more. Read on.
Whose heart is perfect toward him.
He wants people whose heart is perfect towards him. Notice the help comes with conditions. You doing what I say? Because some of y'all sending up prayers, you fasting, and you just as wicked right after the fast as you was before the fast. No change, nothing. You're praying, you're asking people to pray. Your heart must be right with the Lord to implement effectual change.
Herein thou hast done foolishly.
Say that again.
Herein thou hast done foolishly.
He said, you a stupid fool. You went and emptied your money to handle a problem that if you would have just came to me the right way, I would have handled it. And you would have been counting your ones back in your house. Read on.
Therefore, from henceforth thou shalt have wars.
He said, from now on, because you did this, you're going to have continual war. You're going to have continuous. You don't want to know why some of your problems don't go away? Because you're constantly making the wrong decision. You're not turning to the Lord. You're not changing nothing in your house. And because he did that foolish thing, he said, from now on, you're going to have constant problems. Not only that, read on.
Then Asa was wroth with the seer.
What did he do?
And put him in a prison house.
He got mad at the prophet that came and told him that he did things wrong. That's how black people are. He didn't say, you know what? How do I fix this? How do I fix it? How do I get back right with God? What did he do?
Then Asa was wroth with the seer and put him in a prison house.
How you put a man of God in jail that just explained to you that things are going to go very bad for you? This is black people. I'm showing you how our people are. You see it today. People call us, we give them the instructions, they hang up and go and do the wrong thing. And this is what's going to happen to them. Read on.
For he was in a rage with him because
he was enraged when he heard the answer. When he heard that what he did was wrong. And that's how some of you get when we go into the scriptures and tell you the way that you're operating is wrong. You get enraged.
Because of this thing. And Asa oppressed some of the people the same time.
Do black people not do this? When things start going wrong in their life, they start taking out on everybody around them. That's why the Most High will not put a lot of you men in positions of power. He locked the priests up, then he started abusing the people around him because he was mad and didn't want to listen to what God says. Read on.
And behold, the acts of Asa, first and last, lo, they are written in the book of the kings of Judah.
I like that they wrote
Israel.
that there. I like that they wrote that there. Why did they write that his acts were written in the book? Who knows? Your hand went up first.
They written it because they want to keep a record of his offense.
Why?
That
Why?
show to the children of Israel.
Give me a scripture that says that.
Romans chapter 15 and verse 4. For whatsoever thing were written aforetime
But forever things was written in the past. Read on.
were written for our learning.
That's how I'm able to find it now and show you that we have a history of this bad behavior. Read on.
That we through patience
We got to develop patience,
and comfort
and then we're going to get comfort. Read on.
of the scriptures
Of the scriptures, of going into the Bible, not going to a therapist, not going to get a loan from the bank.
might have hope.
that will have hope. Because a lot of times we think all I got to do is just go get money and it'll get fixed. All I got to go see is my therapist and it'll get fixed. All I got to go is to the herbalist and it'll get fixed. Finish reading.
2 Chronicles 16 and 11. And behold, the acts of Asa, first and last, lo, they are written in the book of the kings of Judah and Israel.
Now watch this. Read on.
And Asa, in the 39th year of his reign,
3 years after he made that mistake, read on,
was diseased in his feet.
he started having sickness in his feet. Read on.
Until his disease was exceeding great.
What, don't y'all see that with diabetics? They start cutting the toes off. The legs start swelling up. The sickness was exceeding great.
Yet in his disease he sought not the Lord.
Say that again.
Yet in his disease he sought not to the Lord.
That's why a lot of us go through continual sickness. The last thing on your mind is that God can fix this. But he was such of a reprobate mind that after the way he was, his mind wasn't even on God no more. Read on.
He sought not to the Lord, but to the physicians.
He said, a doctor, I'm going to go to the doctor. I'm going to find Dr. House like they show on TV. I love that show. He looked like he could fix anything. I love that show. Okay, read it again.
He sought not to the Lord, but to the physicians. And Asa slept with his fathers and died in the 41st year of his reign.
So understand, there is a God that's watching us, that's waiting for us to call on him the right way. He will defend you when you're under attack, and he'll defend you when you're sick. And when you treat his prophets, his men that he ordained to guide you and instruct you, and you treat them the right way. Let that go and give me Job chapter 6 verse 1. Because when you make stupid decisions like that, 9.5 times, I'm leaving the other half to stupidity. 9.5 times when you do stupid things like what he did is because of fear. Fear. Give me 2 Chronicles chapter 32 verse 1. Let's let that go. Let's let that go. I want to show y'all something. Because I spoke about the fear. And I'm trying to erase your fear tonight. So I want y'all to look at this world and the way you walk and you talk and you speak and you act differently. This is going to do it for you. 2 Chronicles chapter 16 verse 1. I'm sorry. 2 Chronicles chapter 32 verse 1. I'm sorry.
2 Chronicles 32 and 1.
Right.
After these things and the establishment thereof, Sennacherib, king of Assyria, came and entered into Judah and encamped against the fenced cities.
Do you know how scary that is? You're there with your city and you see armies like when you watch Lord of the Rings. You watch, you ever saw the 13th Warrior with Antonio Banderas? Y'all saw when the enemy's coming down the hill and the floor is rumbling and the women are running, they're grabbing the children, they're locking the women up, the men are grabbing their swords and they're running to defend the city. They're waiting. Y'all got to envision that's what's going on there. That's scary when you watch that movie for the first time. And the people, the army was so intense that the ground is rumbling. Okay? And what they're doing before they could go and arm themselves is locking the women and children away. Read it again.
After these things and the establishment thereof, Sennacherib, king of Assyria, came and entered into Judah and encamped against the fenced cities and thought to win them for himself.
So they use psychological warfare on you. They surround the city. You looking at the armies. You there with your wife. You there with your kids. And they're wondering what the hell is going on. You telling your kids they can't go out and play. The kids, nobody could go to the store. Nobody can move. Because you're watching a whole bunch of people that if they make it into your city, they will rip you apart and butcher your family and you and rape your wife and take your kids hostage. Read on.
And when Hezekiah saw that Sennacherib was come, and that he was purposed to fight against Jerusalem, he took counsel with his princes and his mighty men to stop the waters of the fountains which were without the city, and they did help him.
So he saw that they were surrounding them, so he started taking strategic methods to position himself. So he cut the water off. And look what he said. Read on.
So there was gathered much people together who stopped all the fountains. And
You got to have power to be able to command your people and to have, that's why we need respect and order here. To tell those men, listen, that army out there, we need to cut off their water supply. They're going to attack us. What that got to do with what I said? When I said that if the FBI come here, we got to be ready to deal with them the same way our forefathers was. Let them come through the door and have things in order. That's what he did. He looked at the army and he wasn't afraid. He said, the first thing we're going to do is cut off the water supply. And look what he said. I love this. Read on.
So there was gathered much people together who stopped all the fountains and the brook that ran through the midst of the land, saying, why should the kings of Assyria come and find much water?
He said, y'all not coming here to kill us and y'all drinking water at the same time. We shutting off the water supply. Read on.
And he strengthened himself.
They did what?
And also he strengthened himself and built up all the walls that was broken.
Preparation. He's now saying they coming at us and we not going down without a fight. A lot of men don't think like that. Okay, when I was in a class for self-defense, they were saying that there's two things that people do. They either flee or fight. Y'all ever heard that? You either flee or fight. A lot of y'all run. And you got to know who the runners are. And you got to know the ones who going to get it in when the time comes. Read it again.
Also he strengthened himself and built up all the walls that was broken, and raised it up to the towers, in another wall without.
He built two walls real high while they were looking at there trying to attack him. Read on.
And repaired Milo in the city of David, and made darts and shields.
He
in
was getting
abundance.
ready. He was getting strapped like you see in the movies. He opened the cabin up. They playing the music. He's pulling the swords out. He's sticking the shield in. Okay, read on.
And he set captains of war over the people.
Like we got captains here. Our captains got to be ready to move. Our soldiers, our officers of 10, of 20, of 50. Y'all got to be ready to handle your business when the enemy come and try to surround us. We reading about this, how our forefathers got down. Read on.
And gathered them together to him in the street of the gate of the city, and spake comfortably to them, saying,
You understand what it's like? When everybody is nervous, the women are crying, the people are scared, and you got one person who could come and encourage those men. It said, how did he speak to them?
comfortably.
He spoke comfortably unto them. Y'all just got to rest. It's the butter is melting now, y'all. The butter. He spoke comfortably unto them. He told them, I got this.
How many of y'all saw that movie Braveheart? Okay. You remember when they had to fight against the, what was his name? Longshanks, Edward the Longshanks. And they had all of the other side was fearful as hell until William Wallace came up and he started speaking to them and he encouraged them. He was able to exhort them.
That's right.
Exhort them to remove that fear of the enemy from them. Y'all saw that part. Y'all remember that, right? Because before that, they were scared to death. And once William saw that they were afraid, he said, no. In his mind, he said, I got to go talk to these people.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Read on.
And spake comfortably to them, saying, Be strong and courageous. Be not afraid nor dismayed for the king of Assyria, nor for all the multitude that is with him. For there be more with us than with him.
What did he say?
For there be more with us than with him.
What verse was that?
That was verse 7.
Read on.
Verse 8. With him is an arm of flesh.
With him is what?
An arm of flesh.
He had no respect for that army. He said, with them is an arm of flesh. Read on.
But with us
With
is
us, the Israelites, is what?
the Lord our God.
The Lord our God. Y'all need to get that into your head. He said, don't be afraid of them. We got more on our side than they got on their side. That's in it with that verse?
And to fight our battles. And the people rested themselves upon the words of
What did they do?
Hezekiah. And the people rested themselves upon the words of Hezekiah, king of Judah.
You need the right words to be spoken to rest your heart when your heart is troubled. Me, I can't talk to anybody when I have a problem. I need people who's going to give me words that are effective. I don't want to hear everything is going to be all right. You better convince me everything is going to be all right. Some of you just want to hear it. That's not good enough for me. Because I've been hearing that from I was a youngin'. Okay, he spoke comfortable words unto them, and he rested their spirit with the right words and explained to them how the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob work. Now let's prove it. Let that go and give me 2 Kings chapter 6, verse 1. And I need you to read this quickly.
Can I say something before you read that, Deacon, real quick?
Yes.
Well, we were just reading because the objective is for the speech of exhortation to come upon the men. Y'all all right? And as this was being done, he exalted them, and they were ready. The question is, in order for this to happen, there cannot be any sin among the body. Okay, because I'm referring back to the time of Achan when you read about when we went to war then, and you had a Negro among us. All the encouragement in the world wasn't going to work because Israel was dying like flies because we had a wicked Negro among us. I say that because just like when you read about in Judith, it talks about how Israel was destroyed in many battles because the laws of the Most High was not being kept. So we have to make sure that the laws go forward in this congregation. Y'all follow me? That's how you're going to be blameless, and the Most High will fight our battles when it's done like that. But if we have evil among us, wickedness and strife and the rest of that, we in trouble. Okay? Want y'all to understand that. Go ahead, Deacon.
So watch this. Start with verse 8. 2 Kings chapter 6, verse 8. Because Hezekiah told him, look, don't be afraid of them. We got more on our side than they got on their side. And this generation don't know that. So we must go into the scriptures and prove it. 2 Kings chapter 6, verse 8.
Then the king of Syria warred against Israel and took counsel with his servants, saying, In such and such a place shall be my camp. And the man of God sent unto the king of Israel, saying, Beware that thou pass not such a place, for thither the Syrians are come down.
So what's going on here? Who understands what we just read? I knew very little people. Read it one more time. 6, verse 8. Pay attention, pay attention, pay attention.
Then the king of Syria warred against Israel.
The king of Syria was ready to attack Israel. Read on.
And took counsel.
And the king took counsel saying, the enemy took counsel saying, read on.
With his servants saying, In such and such a place shall be my camp.
We're going to set up shop here. We're going to tear these Israelites apart. Read on.
And the man of God
read on.
Sent unto the king of Israel, saying,
Sent unto the king of Israel, saying what?
Beware that thou pass not such a place, for thither the Syrians are come down.
Y'all understand now what's going on? Okay. While that king was preparing destruction for the Israelites, the man of God warned the king, yo, these people are going to attack you. Be careful. I'm going to show you how intense this gets. Read on.
And the king of Israel sent to the place which the man of God told him.
So he listened. Now we have an example of the king of Israel saying, you know what? The prophet Elijah told me that this man is going to attack, so I'm going to strategically position myself. Read on.
And the king of Israel sent to the place which the man of God told him and warned him of, and saved himself there, not once nor twice.
So the man of God helped them on multiple occasions when attack came. This is a man, this is a leader that has a rapport with his prophets. And that's how y'all got to be. Sometimes it's just as simple as you just listening to the instructions that are being given. He said he saved his life on multiple occasions. It wasn't by his might and by his strength and by his power. It was from the wisdom that the servant of God had that he was telling the king how to move. Watch this. Read on.
Therefore the heart of the king of Syria was sore troubled.
He was bugging out. He was like, listen, every time we come to snatch these people up, they get away. Read on.
For this thing. And he called his servants and said unto them, will you not show me which of us is the king of Israel? And one of his servants said,
So watch this, watch this, watch this. He asked his men, read it again.
therefore the heart of the king of Syria was troubled
He
for
was
this
trying,
thing.
he couldn't figure it out.
And he called the servants and said unto them, will you not show me which of us is for the king of Israel?
Which one of you is on his side? Somebody keeps warning the king of Israel about my plans. Okay? He started accusing his own men because he couldn't understand how a man of God kept maneuvering him past the enemy. Read on.
And one of his servants said, none, my lord.
He said, no, none of us. We with you. We on your side. This is your problem. Read on.
But Elisha, the prophet that is in Israel, telleth the king of Israel the words that thou speakest in thy bedchamber.
What did he just say? What did he just say? Y'all understand that power? He said, King, while you talking in your bedchamber in quiet, there is a servant of God of Israel that's finding out everything you're talking about. And y'all want me to be afraid of Illuminati and wiretaps and them listening to my conversation on my phone? This was before there was electricity and a light bulb and a plane. Okay? Those were the first spies. He told the king the reason why you can't catch him is because whatever you talk about in your bedroom, Alicia knows. Watch this. Read on.
And he said, go and spy where he is, that I might send and fetch him. And it was told him.
That's his FBI. That's his secret service. You probably got some spies up in here right now. Some no good loser Negro Israelite coons up in here right now trying to find out our business. And you're going to be discovered. You're going to be exposed. You're going to be destroyed. Okay? Send them. Let them come. You picked the wrong cap to mess with. Read on.
And he said, go and spy where he is, that I might send and fetch him.
I want to find this guy. You guys watch all of them Israelites and tell me who this guy is. Read on.
And it was told him, saying, behold, he is in Dothan.
We found out where he is because a nigger coon gave him up. He's in Dothan. Watch this. Read on.
Therefore sent he thither horses and chariots and a great host.
He sent all his people. He sent his whole crew. Read on.
And they came by night and compassed the city about.
Is that not how Esau worked? They come at nighttime. Or they come early in the morning, the wee hours of the morning. You'll see black cars lined up everywhere. All in black, they got masks. All you see is a jacket that says what law enforcement agency it is. Came at night with a whole host army to surround for one man. Read on.
Therefore sent he thither horses and chariots and a great host, and they came by night and compassed the city about. And when the servant of the man of God was risen early and gone forth, behold, an host compassed the city, both with his horses and chariots.
They had the whole place surrounded and locked down. Nobody could come in, nobody could walk. Y'all wake up to that in your neighborhoods. They were talking about it on YouTube. They had everything taped off. Nobody could come in and nobody could come out. They got their badges out. Same thing in the Bible. Okay, read on.
And his servant said unto him, alas, my master, how shall we do?
So the man of God, his servant comes to him and says, look, they got the house surrounded. Okay, they're going to move on us. Read on.
And he answered, fear not, for they that be with us.
I'm sorry. Say it again slowly for them.
And he answered, fear not.
He said, don't be afraid, Negro. Read on.
For they that be with us are more than they that be.
Did we
with
just
them.
not hear that? Did we just not hear that before? This is one man by himself and there's a whole army. And he told us, man, yo, sit down. Don't be afraid. We got more on our side than they have on their side. The only difference is this. Watch this. Read on.
And Elisha prayed and said, Lord, I pray thee, open his eyes that he may see. And the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha.
What did he see? Who knows what he saw? Your hand went up first. His hand went up first. Go ahead. What did he see? Understand, he told his scared servant, he talked to the Most High and said, open his eyes and take him into the spirit world and make something be known unto him.
Shalom. He seen the chariots of the Most High.
He saw the chariots of the Most High as far as the eye could see. Because some of you don't believe that. Some of you need to see it. But this guy was so afraid that they had to have this in writing for us right now. Because the world is going to try to put us in that level of fear. And we got to always keep reminding ourselves that they're there, they're here. They're around us. We can't see them right now. And y'all got to bring your mind to that. Read on.
And when they came down to him, Elisha prayed unto the Lord and said, smite this people, I pray thee, with blindness.
So this was just magnificent to me. The whole host of army came down, and he said to smite the people with blindness. Smite the people with blindness. They wasn't walking around like this that they couldn't see. Watch the blindness that was on them. Read on.
And he smote them with blindness according to the word of Elisha. And Elisha said unto them, this is not the way, neither is this the city.
Elisha went out and spoke to the whole entire army and said, y'all got the wrong city. And who you looking for is not here. Okay? That's power.
That's a Jedi mind trick.
Exactly.
For real.
He said, what y'all doing here? Y'all got the wrong city. Read on.
Oh, y'all lost.
Y'all lost? Read on.
This is not the way, neither is this the city. Follow me.
He
and
said, follow me. I'm going to show y'all where y'all need to go.
and I will bring you to the man whom ye seek.
He was taking them to the wrong place, and that's who they was looking for. This is mind-boggling. This is stuff they ain't going to tell you in no Christian church.
And they thought they were going to Scarsdale, and they ended up in Bed-Stuy.
Yes, they're in Brooklyn. They took him to Brooklyn. Read on.
Follow me, and I will bring you to the man whom ye seek. But he led them to Samaria.
He took them to a totally different city. Read on.
And it came to pass when they were come into Samaria that Elisha said, Lord, open the eyes of the men that they may see. And the Lord opened their eyes, and they saw, and behold, they were in the midst of Samaria.
So he's made them see that they're in the wrong place now. He blinded them so that what they were seeing, the Most High could make you not see right in front of you. And y'all don't understand that. That's why I read that whole thing of how we should praise him, because you don't understand him. Read on.
And the king of Israel said unto Elisha, when he saw them, my father, shall I smite them?
So then he asked God, should we kill them? Read
He said
on.
it twice. My father, shall I smite
He
them?
asked him 2 times. Should we put the lights out? Read on.
And he answered, thou shalt not smite them. Wouldest thou smite those whom thou hast taken captive with thy sword and with thy bow? Set bread and water before them, that they may eat and drink and go to their master.
That's a merciful God. Because they were coming to kill him, and God gave them different instructions. And a lot of times, y'all be thinking that your thought process is right. Because me, the nigga that I am, I would have been like, I wouldn't even ask God. I would have just started killing them. But a man of discipline that's working with God the right way, he's going to seek the instructions. Because God is not always thinking the way you're thinking. Sometimes with fear, you want to go and react, and you say they're trying to kill me, I'm going to kill them. I didn't expect when I was reading that for him to say, just feed them and send them on their way. Read what verse was that?
That was verse 23, 22.
So let that go.
The book of
Psalms 34, verse 3.
Psalms 34 and 3. Oh, magnify the Lord with me.
Do what?
Oh, magnify the Lord with me.
Notice every time you always have a forefather saying to magnify him. You know why? Because this world has minimized him. You've reduced the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Israel to nothing. So it is our job to magnify him. Read on.
Oh, magnify the Lord with me, and let us exalt his name together.
We got to exalt him as one. We shouldn't be divided on our understanding of God. Read on.
I sought the Lord, and he heard me.
Because it's a bad thing when you're crying out to the Most High and he won't hear you. Read on.
And delivered me from all and delivered me from all my fears.
We got to understand that the Lord will deliver us from all our fears. Read on.
Verse 5. They looked unto him and were enlightened, and their faces were not ashamed.
We don't want to be ashamed before the enemy. Read on.
This poor man cried, and the Lord heard him.
Say that again.
This poor man cried, and the Lord
That's
heard
how
him.
we are. We're poor. We don't have nothing. We can't fight against the armies. We can't fight against CIA, FBI, the precinct, the local law enforcement. Read on.
And the Lord heard him and saved him out of all his troubles.
This is how he saves us out of all our troubles. Verse 7.
The angel of the Lord encampeth round about them that fear him, and delivereth them.
Y'all got to meditate on that. There's angels around you you cannot see, waiting for when something pops off to deliver you. Okay? And that's what I'm showing you, a whole history of that in the Bible that you're neglecting and looking for another power to deliver you that you cannot rely on. Give me Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 9.
The book of Deuteronomy 23 and 9. When the host goeth forth against thine enemies,
When we have enemies surrounding us, read on.
then keep thee from every wicked thing.
Do what?
Keep thee from every wicked thing.
What that means? Somebody explain it to me. I want to make sure everybody's paying attention.
Shalom. What he's saying is don't commit any iniquity so you can win the battle.
Exactly what Deacon Yawasop just said. Read it again.
When the host goeth forth against thine enemies, then keep thee from every wicked thing.
That's why we throw Negroes out of here. I'm not having no mercy, no sympathy on nobody. I have a very short tolerance when I see that y'all constantly doing stupid things. Because I'm prepared for attack. I'm prepared for war. And it says, read it again.
Keep thee from every wicked thing.
This is before Israel had to go in battle. He said, you better make sure your men is right. Read on.
If there be any among you, if there be among you any man that is not clean by reason of uncleanness, that chanceth him by night, then shall he go abroad out of the camp. He shall not come within the camp.
So he even said, if there was any issues with a brother that was in there, put him outside of the camp. Read on. Let's see why.
But it shall be, when evening cometh on, he shall wash himself with water, and when the sun is down, he shall come into the camp again.
So you have to keep your circle tight. Everybody had to be on point. And a lot of you come in here with lies and evil that you did. And I'm showing you that it's spiritual, it's by design. We need to know your business. We need to know the standing of each man that's among us. That's why last week I took a brother's shirt. Y'all don't see you, and I'm asking brothers, yo, who's that? And they're like, oh, he hasn't been here 4 months. Give me your damn shirt. Here's your $30 back. And go sit in the back like a member. You ain't harming the people in here that come, that trust us. You ain't harming these women and children, these babies here. Because I don't know who you are, and I don't like people I don't know. Read on.
But it shall be, when evening cometh on, he shall wash himself with water. And when the sun is down, he shall come into the camp again. Thou shalt have a place also out the camp, whither thou shalt go forth abroad.
What that mean? When you go to use the toilet, you got to have a place outside of the camp. I'm showing you how meticulous the Lord was about keeping the area where we dwell in good standing. Read on.
And thou shalt have a paddle upon thy weapon, and it shall be, when thou wilt ease thyself abroad, thou shalt dig therewith, and shalt turn back and cover that which cometh from thee.
So y'all probably saying, why is God so particular? Why is he so, okay? This is the reason why. Read on.
For the Lord thy God walketh in the midst of thy camp.
Y'all don't believe that. His presence is here. And he looks around to see what's going on here. That's why we don't let no women in here with no pants on. That's why a sister in the old place, she didn't want to cover her head. Get the hell out. You ain't coming in here week after week after week with no beard, bald head, no fringes on. You need to leave. Read it again. This is why.
For the Lord thy God walketh in the midst of thy camp.
The Spirit of God is around us to do what? Read on.
To deliver thee and to give up thine enemies before thee.
So if you want the enemy to be subdued by God, you better make sure you on point. Everything got to be right around you, and some of y'all take that for granted. What verse was that?
Therefore shall thy camp be holy, that he see no unclean thing in thee.
If he sees us conducting ourselves in an uncleanly manner, read on.
And turn away from
He
thee.
will turn away from us. He will not protect us. He will not have our backs. And y'all need to meditate on that. Because some of you, that's how y'all got some of where you are now. Y'all smoking weed when y'all leave here. Y'all drunkenness. Y'all committing whoredom. Y'all masturbating in your house to pornography. And then you're asking me, like I said before, as we said it in a joke, you're watching pornography to pleasure yourself after we already told you pornography is a sin. And you know that any day the angels could come to deliver you. You think the angel's he's gonna come to your house and look and be like, leave that nasty nigga right there. Leave him right there. And then he's gonna be saying, look, I remember Yahweh spoke to him, Captain Shem spoke to him, the men spoke to him, and you asking me what should you do? The fear of God is what's gonna make you stop. It's what's gonna make you say, you know what? I'm not gonna go on YouTube, I'm not gonna go on my phone, I'm not gonna look at this stuff. Because one day, God is going to be in the midst of me and get disgusted with me and denounce me. And it's not just that. I only use that because a lot of brothers complain about that. It's you smoking weed. It's you committing adultery and saying one day you're going to stop. It's you having your wicked family members in your house defiling your house. You know they're wicked and you know you can move out, but you stay right up there amongst them and help them decorate the Christmas tree and say, God is going to forgive me. Because I'm trying to wake my mother up. I'm going to help her with the Christmas ham. Y'all think I'm playing. I'm speeding things up because I want to get through this. Okay, I had a whole bunch of other analogies of the garbage that y'all come and say week after week after week and ask with no change. And y'all don't understand that there's angels watching you. The Most High is watching you. His presence is in your house, around you, seeing if you're about that life. And some of you are fake and you come that way week after week after week. Some of you come with hatred in your heart. Angels ain't snatching you up and you got hatred in your heart. There's no compassion in you. When that time comes for you to be delivered, and you was that hater that came in shalom everybody. A lot of brothers come like that, week after week with hatred. So we already showed you that you have to keep your dwelling according to how the Lord is, or he will depart from you suddenly. Give me Matthew chapter 18, verse 10. For you people that think that you can mistreat people and get away with it and think nobody ain't going to see you. You a crash test dummy.
The book of Matthew, chapter 18 and verse 10. Take heed that ye despise not one of these little ones.
Because some of you do it like breathing. You'll just despise somebody without even speaking to them. You'll just look at them and just despise them. So the Bible says what?
Take heed that ye despise not one of these little ones.
Because you have an evil spirit. And little ones will come through the door and you'll think I'm up in power. I have this uniform on and I could do whatever I want. Christ says what? Read it again.
Take heed that ye despise not one of these little ones.
Because that's how the Pharisees, the Sadducees, the scribes were. They were abusive to the people. They were mistreating them. So Christ is warning them. Read on.
For I say unto you that in heaven their angels do always behold the face of my Father.
All of you have your own personal angel that carry information back about what's going on. So the next time that you think to do something wrong to somebody, you better think about it. The next time you think to do wrong to your kids, to your wife, or just be a nigga in the house. Okay, I heard about somebody that get drunk, okay, and then just turn into a different person. I said, throw him out. Throw him. I don't care if it's your brother. Throw him out. And then call us and let us know so I could do a class about them on Friday. Go ahead. Go ahead. You warn him. You tell him that's what Deacon Asaph said. If he is not afraid, then we must deal with him swiftly and harshly. Okay? We have angels that are watching every single thing that we do. And that's what you need to be worried about. That's what you need to fear. Now, some of y'all may not believe it. Give me Revelations chapter 21, verse 1. Some of y'all don't believe, and some of y'all want to keep your fear. And that's okay.
What verse, Deacon?
Revelations chapter 21, verse 1.
Revelation chapter 21, verse 1. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth.
And that's what I'm looking for. I want new heavens and a new earth. This place makes me sick every single day. I will never get comfortable here or used to here. Read on.
For the first heaven and the first earth were passed away.
It's going to burn. And that's what I'm waiting for this place to get burned up. And this is what John the Revelator was seeing a vision. Read on.
And there was no more sea. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem.
He saw a new place for the Israelites to dwell. Read on.
Coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And I heard.
Can you picture that? You know how the bride is. She's taking her time. She's doing her makeup, her eyelash, everything pretty. She has the veil. And you're just waiting. Do you take this woman to be your wife? I do. And you're just happy because she's beautiful. That's how he's describing this. He thought about the most beautiful thing you could think of. And look what he took it to, a marriage. Some of you don't look at your wives like that. You look at your wives like some brother repeated, "You're my property." His wife was complaining about how he was dealing with her and says, shut up, you're my, in those words, just shut up, you're my property. You're here to please me. And that's why I said you got to check somebody out before you're talking about we betrothed. We going to be together. You come to me with that foolishness and you didn't get proper counsel, I'm going to say that's good for you.
Shalom, Israel. I'm Elder Nathaniel, Israel United in Christ. YouTube likes to shut our channels down, as some of you have noticed, ever so often. Subscribing to join IUIC will assure you will always stay connected to our YouTube accounts. We want to do our best to make sure this truth gets out. Please click and join our subscriber YouTube channel called Join IUIC to stay linked to all of our videos. So again, please make sure you subscribe to this and join IUIC channel to get your latest updates from all our YouTube channels. Shalom.